All right, we're here with Jafari and Dominique. Dominique, y'all know it, Party Paparazzi, and this is Jafari, the host of every event going on in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, surrounding area, 7 cities. What happened with you at the venue?
I went to venue on May the 12th, or maybe May the 11th, to try to clear my mind off of just recently losing an uncle. And we went to the club, me and a friend Julian of Z104, we went to the venue and tried to get in. And when we went there, we were told that it was a private event and that we had to be on some type of special Jesus-made guest list to get in this night. And then, so we're like, all right, cool, y'all got it. So we went down to Central 111 where we were allowed in because one of my friends who knew the door was a bouncer, so we allowed in. But it wasn't really our scene, and so I went there, we had a few drinks, we danced for about 10-20 minutes, and then we were like, all right, let's go back over to the venue. So we went back over to the venue, and we were then told it was to capacity, so that's understandable. Can't let us in because of capacity. All right, we'll abide by the rules. But there was a group of Caucasian Alliance. They said, so when people come out, are we allowed to go in? And they said yes. So about 20-30 people came out the club, and they were like, all right, so they started letting people in. They ID everybody, and they literally let everybody in and stopped at me. And I was like, what's up? And they were like, give me a second. And I was like, well, you just said when people came out that we could come in, you just let them in. I mean, was something wrong? And he's like, no, come on, just come on. Gave wristband, let me in. I'm in the club all of maybe 5 minutes. I went to the bathroom, washed my hands, came back out, hadn't been there all of 5 minutes. And then I was approached by a big man who I then later identified as John. He didn't have any type of security shirt or anything letting me know that he was staff. Yeah, apparently the owner. And he said, you need to buy something. And I was like, I plan on it. He's like, you need to buy something. If you're not gonna drink, you need to buy some food. You need to buy anything. You need to buy something. I'm like, all right. And so I'm still planning on buying something. I had been drinking that night already, though, so I was pacing myself. I'm not an irresponsible drinker. I'm not just gonna keep drinking just because a guy's pretty much, bullying me to the bar. And no more than 15 seconds later, he comes back with security, and they say step outside. And I asked them for why, and they literally said because I wasn't spending any money. And, I didn't know that there was a bar minimum. And, I had only been there 5 minutes. Like I said, they didn't know if I was going to be some type of designated driver or anything. And like I said, I had been there getting over a loss. So this is definitely the last thing I wanted to deal with. And, yeah, and they hadn't hawked any of the other people that came in with me, or not with me, at the same time as me. They didn't kick any people out that came the same time as me, even though they wouldn't go to the bar. And, that was a huge problem, a huge concern.
And you said Pusha T went through this too?
Pusha T just went through this yesterday now. Today is June 2nd. This happened yesterday, June 1st, at the same exact establishment. Yeah, today. Same exact establishment.
All right, so Dominique, what happened with you, bro?
Well, I got a long story, but I'm going to cut it short. I've had it happen to me 3 times in the past 4 years. The first time I went, it was my birthday. I heard about it on the radio. I was invited by one of my best friends, which is an NFL player, Cam Chancery. Took me out for my birthday. And we went there, and basically the same thing happened. We was in line, and they told us we had to be on a guest list. I didn't see no guest list. I never heard anything about a guest list. I heard on the radio it said it was advertised open to the public, college night. So, of course, that raised the red flag for us. And then, of course, when management came out, we was, going back and forth about it. That particular night, finally, they did let us in, but it was a total of 12 of us. They only let 8 out of the 12 in. They told us we had to pick out of our friends who could come in. Late on that night, the owner came over after we, had a tab, ran up a $2,000 tab, paid it, and then they kind of apologized to us about it, said we wouldn't have any more issues. I didn't go back there for about another year. I was invited again by DJ, who had just DJ Chino. He had just DJed there 2 weeks prior, same establishment, and he said, hey, let's go over here, whatever, let's get a couple of drinks. I suggested that I didn't think it was a good idea because we had experience before, but because I kind of rode with him, we just went ahead and went over there anyway and walked up again. They allowed him in. Then they got to the other 4 of us and told us we had to wait. And I looked at him and I said, hey, man, this is happening again. It's been a year.
So DJ Chino is not black?
Nah, he's Filipino.
Okay.
Or maybe Chinese. I'm not quite sure exactly which ethnic, but he's not black at all. But they allowed him in. He came back out with the owner. Of course, by then I had already been arguing a little bit with the security because I was upset. It's the second time it's happened. I don't understand why it was happening, and I'm watching other people get let in right in front of me with no issue, no guest list, no nothing. And once he comes out with the owner looks at us and he says, all right, we'll calm your friend down. We'll go ahead and let him in now. And in the middle of me talking to him, one of my other friends came out that was already in the establishment. He sees me. He's like, you know, calm down, Neek. We're going to talk to him, whatever. And then the owner says, well, if you knew him, why didn't you tell me you knew him, or tell, you know, the bouncers you knew him, or called him and had him come out before you guys got here? And I explained to him that I felt that I shouldn't have to do that. If your establishment is open to the public, I shouldn't have to know someone to get inside of your establishment, especially when it's a sports bar that's open. So that night, they allowed me in. I seen the same process happen to someone at the bar, similar. The guys that just got in, made it to the bar, they ordered their drinks, and within 5 minutes, the owner came up to them and told them they had to leave. They didn't even get their drinks or their money back. So at the end of the day, I told one of my peoples about the situation. I received a call on a three-way call. I can't expose who it was, but I definitely had got an apology by one of the other owners, because, you know, I found out that Central and Venue was owned by the same people. So the guy that owns the club next door, which is a part owner of that club, he called, and I heard him verbally apologize about the situation and stated that it wouldn't happen again, and if I ever came again, if I had the issue, just to state his name and state that, you know, I had my family had a conversation with him to resolve the problem. Once again, I didn't go back for a long time. A year later, I went by myself, and it happened again. But this time, it was 2 times worse than the first 2 times. I actually got banded, made it into the establishment with no problem. Went to the restroom. I went to meet the person that I was there to meet that had tagged me and invited me to the establishment. They had already been drinking, and they had to go to the restroom. So I was waiting for them to come back, and literally the same guy, which he wasn't a bouncer, but he was the guy that was doing the IDs that gave me the van. He came over and said, hey, man, I got bad news. And I said, well, what's the problem? He says, well, the owner doesn't want you in here. And I said, well, I don't understand what the issue is. Can you explain more? He said, well, just do me a favor, come out, and we'll figure it out. So I came outside, calmly, no problems. Literally, the owner comes out 30 minutes later after I've been sitting, and I approach him, and I said, sir, I want to know, why am I being put out the establishment? You know, why does this keep happening? I didn't do anything wrong. I've never been in no fights. I'm not a bad guy. You know what I mean? I have a good record. I don't understand what the problem is, and I've never had this happen to me before in any other establishment in Virginia. And he basically tells me with his own eyes, looking right at me, saying, well, you know, I don't want your kind in there, and you wasn't spending any money. And I said, well, at the end of the day, you know, how do you know I wasn't a designated driver? For my friends that had already been spending money with you, for one. And then for two, from my understanding, you know, ABC always tells you to drink responsibly, you know. And the thing with the food, he said, well, you guys could have ordered food, whatever. But this same establishment, if you ever been in there or seen pictures of it, they allow people to dance on the tables with no shirts on, no shoes on. So, and I explained to him, I said, sir, I'm not going to order any food from here because the tables are not clean. You know, you want me to eat on a table that people are standing on? That doesn't make any sense, you know. But at the same time, like I said, I was with people that were spending money, and he didn't give me the opportunity or the chance to even spend money in the establishment. And I didn't see no signs saying that it was a drink minimum or anything upon those lines saying that we have to purchase something to be there. You know, it's open. It's an open lounge to the public. It's just like going to Hooters or something just to watch the game.
Exactly.
You know, it's various examples of different establishments. It's like me going to Applebee's with 5 people, but I may not eat Applebee's. But if the 4 people that are with me are spending money and they're eating and drinking, you know, if I'm the designated driver, the Applebee's manager is not going to make me eat or drink anything. You know, they may say, hey, you want a glass of water? And then when we leave, we leave. So to me, the whole situation it got out of control. And I'm just glad now that somebody of a higher stature could say something, and now people can really see it, because I actually posted about it 7 weeks ago on my paparazzi Instagram, and I had over 100 comments of all type of ethics, black, white, Filipino, Chinese. Everybody had the same experience upon the same lines, and it's sad that this is still going on, especially in Virginia Beach. And it really hurt me to see that happen to Pusha, because Pusha's from Virginia. And unlike most artists, a lot of artists don't, you know, artists or celebrities that get on, they don't come back and do stuff for their community. And for him to come back and he still supports local businesses and do things for the community, that really upset me to see that it had to happen to him. And I'm like, it should have been put to a stop a long time ago when it first happened the first time to other people, you know. But sometimes God worked in mysterious ways, and it was just one of those times where, you know, it was just a matter of time. It was a ticking time bomb for something to happen, somebody bigger to see it, that can have the power to expose it, and now everybody else can tell their side of the story to add to the situation that's going on. And the proof is in the pudding. Their videos, the comments, Like I said, I posted it. Jafari, he had his situation. I'm quite sure there's other people out here that still going to experience it too. And the stories are not over.
Not much time to get.
It's still gonna come.
We're putting this out because people need to know about what's going on at the venue. But I'm gonna close it with people understanding. I am Levon Holman. I'm a life coach, but I do support Paparazzi. I do support Jafari as a host and the things that they're doing. But what I do want to put out to the owners, your racism is actually your downfall. And every case of racism, every case of racism should be labeled as out of control hatred, because the hatred is not out of control for what you're doing to people. It's actually what you're doing, setting yourself up for your own failure and our freedom. So you continue on being hateful. You can continue on doing things that you think you're getting away with. It's just a matter of time. And just so happened this time, for this particular person, his hatred will be you'll have lawsuits against your business. You'll have people not supporting you anymore. And what I like to ask everybody that deals with racism or puts it out, no matter what color it comes from, is it worth what you end up going through? That hatred that you held in and you didn't want somebody around you because of it, was that repercussion that you're going to face one day, is it worth it? Because I don't think people think that far in advance.
And just because you let a couple black people in don't mean that you're not racist.
Yeah,
like, there's different type of racists.
When I specifically saw, I said I counted. I played a little game
Count
on
them with your
Facebook
hand.
called it Count the Blacks. It was like a Where's Waldo game. It was literally 5 to 10% only black, and that's just for it was the token, as they call it, token black people, just so they could say,
Just to say-
we do allow black
Well, even
people
if that is true.
And the sad part is, just because I noticed the ones that I do know, like my friend that goes there and does get in, he knows the owner personally. So it's
Right.
like, I'm gonna go as far as saying I feel like that some of us are being used as pawns so that these type of situations don't get out. So if they do hit the news, oh well, I've had this many black people in my establishment.
Exactly.
I have black
Exactly.
friends. I have pictures of them in here. But when you look at it, and the thing is, like I said, this establishment, they play black music, but you look at the pictures, and it's literally all white. Like he said, 10, 15 blacks in there. But then you have a club that's literally 2 doors down that is a part owned by that same club. But from my understanding, the other owner owns
Talking
more.
about Central 111.
Central.
Now,
You know what I
Central
mean?
111,
I've heard stories, but not as bad as this one.
well, I've been there myself, and I like that one. I've
Yeah.
never had any issues with them.
And I haven't either. I've been in there a couple
Yeah.
times. That club I've got in, and it was kind of crazy when I found out that they were saying that those 2 clubs are tied together. Because I'm like, well, I've been to this one, and there's no issues, and black people are in there.
Right.
So the thing is, they're in the same. What I'm getting to, there are black people that come to both establishments. They're in the same exact parking lot. And most time when you go to a bar, you're gonna bar hop. If you know it's 2 bars that's side by side each other, you're gonna go to both. So how is it that you have a club that's right next to it, and there are black people in there, but then you got this one next door, there's only 10 of them in there.
Exactly.
Something's happening where they're not getting in.
Exactly.
It's like almost like they're forcing us to one side.
Exactly.
To try to delegate us, like, all right, well, we're gonna let all of them in over there, and then we're gonna keep ours on this side.
Right.
You
For
know?
whatever reasons. And the magic of it all is this. Your hatred is exposing you. We have 2 witnesses right here. I've experienced none of what they have because I've never been in the venue. It ain't somewhere I would want to go now anyway. But the real truth of the matter is what we want to put out, even down to the most recent things that was going on with the police. It was time for it to get exposed. Yeah, your hatred has been going on so long, and you've been getting away with it, at least thinking you've been getting away with it for so long. That hatred is the reason for some of y'all going to jail, for prison, changing your whole life, your significant people in your life, your children, your family. That hatred, I just want to know, was it worth it?
And my biggest thing to end this video, you know, the reason why we're doing this video, and we have spoken out about this situation, because I'm worried about the other people. I could care less if I ever put another dollar into that place, but different people react differently, and I'm worried about us as a whole, that the next time this may happen, if this place is still there, these are the type of stuff we end up seeing on the news later, where somebody's been hurt, because if that does happen, they react differently, and the security throw them out. And if the officers are out there. They don't know what's really going on. They don't know that it's negligence coming from the club that's causing these issues. And now they react the wrong way. And then you got another black life laying on the ground.
Exactly.
For no reason. And like I tell people, black lives really do matter, you know. And we have to really stress this to make people understand this. If we have the power to say something, you got to say it. It's not always about...
So do you think it's important to go ahead and explain some of these scenarios as we go, as just like you're doing? It's excellent that you're doing it this way, because you're saying
It's the beginning.
you have no real thought of the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the end of what you are doing, what your hatred is actually setting up for you and for innocent people. I hope you get this, and everybody that's listening, I hope y'all understand that hatred, you have no idea of the repercussions that you're causing for yourself.
And there's no need for the hatreds. We all get hungry. If you cut us off, we all gonna bleed. When we get hungry, we need to eat. We all the same individuals. The only thing's making us different is the skin complexion we were born. Other than that, we all the same, or should be the same on the inside. Ain't no need to hate nobody for the color of their skin, or for the way they choose to wear their hair, or the way they choose to wear whatever. That doesn't take away from, you know, their upbringing or anything like that. You can't automatically, they say, you can't judge a book by its cover just simply because you don't like what you see. People that might not like my hat. I may not like, you know, spiky hair. I might not like dreadlocks on somebody. That's not my business. That's how they choose to carry themselves. As long as it's not disrupting my life or anything I have going on, I don't have anything to say to it. Because it's like I said, it's not disturbing me. It's not disturbing my well-being. It's not putting me in harm's way. Live your life, people, and let others live theirs. That's what the meaning live and let live means. It means you live your life, you let other people live their life, and life goes on. And the world is a better place. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, any shout outs, Jafari?
No shout outs right now.
Shout out Pusha T for making this story something big, man. It took him to have the guts to say, hey, man, this got to stop, you know.
Shout outs to Curtis of Hot 91 for reaching out to me when it initially happened.
Hey,
all right.
Understand, man, it's just a time of change, man. We have to all speak up and do things about this, you know.
Shout out to Levon for shooting this right here in his shop.
And
and support.
Thanks for the cameras, because the cameras are really exposing what needs to be exposed.
That's why I'm the paparazzi. I'm the real paparazzi.
This is Fari 5
never
News.
know who I am.
Like, you know, I'm starting the Fari 5 News. I'm gonna start news on things like this called the Fari 5 News.
All right,
this is gonna be an installment.
All right, and we need that. Everybody start making it happen, because
send me your videos. Send me your
send the videos. Send it.
We'll
put
share
it
it.
We got a story.
You think you got a voice?
I'm at hair artist _Levon. That's LEVON. What's your
DM us party_paparazzi. My personal Instagram is Dominique DOMINIC_little. If you got any stories that's happening to you, man, you can DM it, and I'm as long as it makes sense and it's the truth, we don't have a problem with pushing it out there, man.
I'm Jafari, JAPHARII 757. Visit happycode.com. If you need a website made, let me know. Visit lustissues.com. Visit shyshit.com. Visit 3phonesmusic.com.
All right, now we're out. Thank you for listening. And again, we're gonna salute all the people that don't deal with the racism like it means nothing to you.
Like it doesn't exist.
Like it doesn't exist, but it does exist. Here's the real deal. The hatred is not worth the repercussions, and you will find that out.